In Matthew chapter 20, verse 16, Jesus says this, "So the last will be first, and the first will be last." I've heard that quoted so many times, but the real question is, what does that mean, and in what context is Jesus using those words? So the context of that is in the parable of the workers of the vineyard. And I'm going to paraphrase it. There are workers, and every one of them agrees to a certain wage. There's people that come at the beginning of the day at 9 in the morning, and the owner of the vineyard says, "You can go and work, and I'll pay you whatever is right to pay you." And then around noontime, 3 more people come. The owner says, "Why have you been standing around here all day doing nothing?" And they say, "Well, no one's hired us." The owner of the vineyard says, "Well, you can also work in my vineyard." Evening comes, and it comes time to pay all the workers, those that came early in the morning and those that came later in the afternoon. The ones that came later in the afternoon got paid the same amount as those that came earlier in the day. And this makes the people that worked longer a little upset. They're like, "Why did the people that came later in the day get paid the same amount that we got paid?" The owner's response is, "Didn't you agree to work for a denarius? Take your pay and go. I want to give the ones who I hired last the same that I gave to you. Don't I have the right to do what I want with my own money? Or are you envious because I'm generous?" Another translation says, "Why is your eye evil because I am good?" And then the parable concludes with, "So the last will be first, and the first will be last." I think what we learn in this about the kingdom of God is that you can show up anytime. The kingdom is always at hand, and the kingdom is always within us. It's never too late to jump in and to partner with God's ongoing work, whether you feel like you're late to the party or not, because God's grace is the same for every one of us. In verse 12, the workers are complaining to the owner of the vineyard, and they say, "You have made them equal to us, who have borne the burden of the work and the heat of the day." They're saying, why are they equal? Because in the kingdom, we're all equal. Doesn't matter if you've been doing the work since you were a kid, if you grew up in a pastor's home, or if you think you're super Christian, you are not any greater than anybody else, because everyone gets to jump in, everyone gets to play, everyone gets to be part of the kingdom work, and it's never our right to exclude those that God chooses to include, which he chooses everybody. Everybody gets to partner with what he is doing. And what I love about this is Jesus subverts all our expectations. He continually challenges the status quo that says, these are the insiders and these are the outsiders. And he is generous. I've seen a lot of people get upset, like, why is God being good to them? Because they don't believe exactly like I do, or they don't act exactly like I do, or they're not good Bible-believing Christians like I am. Because God does not look at outward appearances, he looks at the heart, right? So the kingdom of God is upside down in our eyes. Truly, it's actually right side up. Oftentimes what we consider to be upside down is actually just right side up in the kingdom. So be careful next time you pray, "God, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven," and then some upside down stuff starts to happen in your life, and you're like, well, that's not what I prayed for, when, well, maybe it is what you prayed for. Because everyone is part of this kingdom work. We all get to be part of this kingdom work, right? The last will be first, and the first will be last. And in a sense, every one of us at some point in our lives has been the first to show up. We've been the ones that have said, okay, I'll jump in. I'll do what I'm supposed to do right now. Sign me up. And then there's been times in our life we've been like, you know what? I'm going to just wait. I'm just lazy today. I just want to not do anything, and maybe I'll show up. We've all been the first and the last. And I think that's Jesus' point. It's not about how hard you try. It's not about when you show up. It's about God's generosity and his grace to every single one of us, regardless of our performance, regardless of how good we think we are. And I think that's the good news of the kingdom of God, that he is generous. So the question we can ask ourselves today is, am I envious because God is generous? Are there places that I've been mad because I've seen his kingdom working in people I never expected his kingdom to work in? Have I drawn harsh conclusions about one group of people because those people seem like outsiders? Have we drawn judgmental conclusions about people because of their beliefs? It's a good question to ask ourselves, because in the kingdom it's all upside down. So we better be careful next time we say, you're not welcome here, or you're not allowed to work because of this, this, and this. The people that we so often exclude are the very ones God has already included in himself. So, I hope that this message was encouraging and also challenging to you, because it's challenging to me. This is called metanoia. It is a changing of our thinking. It is a reorientation of how we see the world. This is what God is always calling us to, because we are transformed by the renewing of our minds, and he is leading us all into this radical shift in consciousness so that we might see clearly and move forward in faith. I hope that this was a blessing to you. Please don't forget to like, comment, and to subscribe, and also to share this with somebody that you think could be blessed by this message. Blessings to you guys, and thanks again for watching.